I wish I knew in high school, yeah. Life ain't gotta like you, yeah.
Like, you go through your struggles as a player with not getting the validation that you would like and not getting the opportunity to be validated.
Yeah.
Right? And that's really the main thing. It's not like you had the opportunity and you didn't show up. You just didn't basically get the opportunity. But in my opinion, you became a successful football coach. You're like, from the smallest of the smallest levels, from coaching college flag football males, college flag football females, coming to coaching Little League football with our pops, and branching out to coaching high school football out here in Kansas or Missouri or however this shit works. Because you never know what state you're in depending on what road you cross.
Right, seriously.
But it's like how does it feel being able to be coming from where you were and being able to feed or feed back into children and being a football coach?
It's dope.
Basketball coach too.
It's really, really dope. It started at PV, like you alluding to, that I coach flag football, both male and female. Coaching flag football at Prairie View actually got me my first coaching job in Houston. I don't even know if I told you that or my parents that. I was doing such a great job winning basically flag football championships on the female and male level at Prairie View that people that worked in the intramural office had told Houston coaches about me.
Yeah.
And wanted me to come be my first coaching job outside of coaching flag and coming back home to coach my daddy. I was given a job to be a defensive coordinator for a city of Houston Little League football team.
And one thing I noticed about being in I live in Dallas now.
Yeah.
Nigga, Little League football is big business in big cities.
Big. And that was the first time probably in my life that I did not step up to the plate. I didn't seize the moment.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, really? Like, I was so cocky. I wasn't even confident. I was so cocky at Prairie View in the flag football realm that getting that opportunity, I was like, it felt amazing. Don't get me wrong. It felt dope as shit that somebody thought of me to basically lead. Not even just think about kids, but just to lead. Being a D coordinator, honestly, is a step away from being a head coach.
Yeah.
And they gave me that opportunity. And I went to a couple practices, but at that point in time, I was really so focused on trying to make it playing football that I couldn't balance the time. I didn't know how to balance the time. I was very great. And I wouldn't say good. To me, and not to toot my own horn, I was very great in the semi-pro realm. I was a wide receiver for the Waller County Gladiators, and at that point in time, we was traveling all over Texas, playing in the Texas United Football League. And so it was hard to practice, play games, and then travel into Houston to be a defensive coordinator for this basically Pop Warner football team.
Yeah.
And I tried it out for a couple weeks, and then I had to basically walk away from the situation so I can continue to press forward playing the game. But I got my first real coaching, if you want to just take away from coaching flag. I got my first real coaching in Houston because of how well I coached my flag teams.
Yeah.
But I left that situation humbled because I was like, I'm good. Somebody sees how good I am and my knowledge of the game. Maybe I need to do something with that. Played a little bit. I got out of school, went home with my pops and started coaching with the Mustangs. Don't quote me. One year we lost the Super Bowl by a field goal.
Every year that we was there, we lost in the
Super Bowl. But the one year that my first year with Dad, I think was your second year.
Yeah.
And we lost by a field goal. And I knew then that I had to be better because that feeling of losing the Super Bowl by a field goal in little ETFLLA or whatever the acronym is, you couldn't block field goals at that time.
Yeah, you couldn't even try to block it. They could just kick it, and you just had to stand there.
And we lost to a field goal. But that moment, that motivation, then I knew then I had to be a better coach because it shouldn't have got down to that.
Yeah.
I don't remember what position I coached at that time for the Mustangs, but I knew then if I coached better, we don't lose by a field goal.
Yeah.
And so that moment drove me to be the type of person I am in the coaching realm. And not just talking about football, but in basketball too, because I coach basketball and I also do track. But I started at Prairie View, flag football. I got my opportunity to coach Little League, a Pop Warner team out there. Came back to Longview to coach. I played semi-pro.
Team ever.
Shout out to the Mustangs because will forever be the best football team to ever come through East Texas. But leaving there, I went back to play semi-pro in Longview. I was a player coach because the coach then, shout out to Dave Tennyson, who gave me my opportunity to play ball again after I got out of the Army. I became somewhat of a defensive coach, linebacker, DN for him. Mm-hmm. So as we play games, I could make in-game adjustments because by what I seen on the field. And I come off the field, I tell him, he was the coach at the time, but I'm like, hey coach, this is what I see. Let's do this. And also shout out to Hootie, who was our free safety at the time. Probably one of the smartest kids, not a kid, smartest guys I know. And Hootie, man, I would be able to see stuff because I was on the front end. Mm-hmm. I tell him on the back end. We both tell Coach Dave Tennyson, and man, we was lights out. Lights out for the East Texas Crusaders. And I knew then that I wanted to do more than just play the game. Yeah. So I left East Texas Crusaders, and I don't know. And it's Guy, because I know, shout out to the Most High, a team, the Kansas City Coyotes. Don't know what game it was or when they seen me play, but saw me play a game in Dallas. Sent me an invite on Facebook to come try out for their arena football team. And outside of my wife now, Rashonda, I came out here to be with her, but also try out for the Kansas City Coyotes professional arena football team, in which I made it. Playing arena football, highlight of my life. Shout out to the second and third string tight end of the Longview Lobos, who still got paid to play. Drinks.
I'm pretty sure that's not going to be on the website of the professional players, but yeah, you technically became a professional football player.
Technically, yeah, per se. And again, that validation will never be given to me. Yeah. That a third string tight end for the Longview Lobos grinds his way to making a professional football team. Not one, but two. Yeah. I signed 2 contracts. Got paid to play for 2 teams. And that leads into my coaching realm. Yeah. I was such a leader for my first team where I became a defensive captain that the guy that was there before me got me my first coaching job. Yeah. He saw not only how good of a player I was, but how good of a person I was.
And I want to put a tag right there. Relationships matter.
Big time.
Like, even if you in a place to where you're not where you want to be, you got to make sure that you have good relationships with the people around you, because you never know where they're going to be and vice versa. Like, they need to be doing the same thing, because they can get to a spot and they could put you in a position to grow based off the relationships you had when both of y'all were in a place to where y'all didn't want to be.
Put me on.
Yeah. So then, like I know a little bit of the story. So I've been impressed with you in your journey in multiple ways. One thing that I'm very proud of is that one thing that I wanted to do more than anything in my life is win a state championship. Obviously, you lost in the first round to South Garland. I lost in the first round to South Garland. Both times we lost to South Garland, they were not that good, and we should have blew them out. But we did. However, we kept, like, our passion and everything for the game means something. So we came back and we was able to create the big 3, which I would call it, what our pops, with our dad been the head coach of the Mustangs, and we've been assistant coaches, and we helped these kids out. And in the positive things we was able to give to these kids. And the one thing that I kept telling them when they were Little League football players is that y'all can win the state championship.
We said that, and we said it a lot.
And what is this, like 8 years later, they won
the state championship.
The first state, in my opinion, the first state championship Longview's ever had. Because the first time they won, they didn't let black players play. So I don't even count this shit. So the first state championship Longview ever had was one with players that we coached. And personally, I take a lot of like that. That's validating to me, knowing that the things that I know and was able to coach, because these players listened to me every step of the way, and I was able to talk to them and encourage them or whatever, and they respect me. So you able to achieve that, and the other things that you achieve, like how does that feel for you as a coach and as a football player and as an athlete?
That's all the validation I need. Is them, because I was able to use my journey through the Lobo system to give them the strength, the courage, the tools needed to become the players that they are.
Yeah.
Because I was able to basically teach them what was taught to me from the Mustangs, from Foster, from the Lobos, and give it to them while they're on the Mustangs. Yeah. So they got basically 3 levels of training, plus college, because I also play college ball. But they got 4 levels of training all at once, yeah. As far as mentality at least. I was able to give them the mentality from 4 different levels and then help them along the way as they grew from 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, even though I was not there at the beginning of the 3rd and 4th grade year. I think I got most of those guys 5th grade year and maybe 1 or 2 the 6th grade year. Mm-hmm. But I was able to give them multiple levels of mentality at an early age, and it showed. Because if you watch Jebediah play in 5th and 6th grade,
woo, it's night and day. Like Jebediah in 5th grade, he was trying to figure out. We taught him how to be a running back, right? 6th grade, lights out.
It wasn't even fair.
Yeah,
it's to the point. Weigh him. He's not even big.
But yeah,
he run big, but
and he was overweight for like 2 pounds, wasn't it? But he was so solid, it was no way he could lose. And the same thing with Jesse. Like Jesse, the funny thing about Jesse is that Jesse used to complain about having asthma when we was running wind sprints and stuff all the time. And I used to run my wind sprints with him. I was like, "You gonna put?"
Both of us did, yeah.
Because I used to get that same excuse, and I learned how to overcome my asthma. And Jesse always wanted to talk about being a running back. But I was like he was a defensive tackle when in 5th grade. And I was like, bro, you want to be a running back, but you are afraid to run. And then he went through the Mustang system. I remember, I'll never forget this. I moved to Dallas, Jebediah and Jesse's and DD's 6th grade year, right? And I remember you called me before the first game, and I talked to Jesse, and I was just giving him pep talks. And he was playing middle linebacker at the time. Mm-hmm. And you called me back after the game. He was like, I don't know what the hell you told him, bro, but he was fucking people up. I was like, and I was so proud about that because, like, you see, like, the things you instilled into him, and myself and Coach Jones and Coach Canada and everybody else, and then you see them.
Coach Lobo, shit.
Yeah, Coach Lobo, yeah, and you see them like hold that dearly, and then they apply it, and been able to tell a young man something, and then they apply it, and you see them work for their life. You see that work for their life, like it does something to you in a very humble way. It pushes me forward because, like, I want Jesse and Jebediah and Dede and Hunter and Jordan and Keelan, all these players that we've been able to impact their lives. I want them to take that and progress it in their lives and become way greater than what I'm going to be. And that's kind of like what I see, like, coaching, because both of our parents are coaches. Mm-hmm. My father coached college basketball at Jarvis, and he is known mainly for being a renowned Little League coach in basketball, football, and baseball. And the same thing with our mom, being a renowned high school basketball coach. And now you are a high school basketball coach that wins AAU tournaments, like national AAU tournaments.
Yep.
And the same thing. And you see how you can take a position group with receivers. What's the name of the school?
Blue Valley Northwest.
Yeah, you see the position group where you started and where it's finished. Now they are a very dominant team based on
receivers.
Yeah, and it's like, and a lot of times a lot of like I understand you being jaded about not having respect as a level football player, but from my perspective, I was like, look at what you've been able to do. In Prairie View, you're a legend, right? Yeah. You're a legend as an athlete. You're a legend as a leader. The same thing with your platoon in the Army. Now you came in, and usually people with college degrees and everything get pushed into the officer realm. You was pushed into the officer realm off of your leadership. Mm-hmm. And who you was, and now you progress that further. It was like with all the players I coach, especially with our nephew DeLeon, I tell him all the time, "You the baddest motherfucker alive." But me as a little brother, I look at you and I truly believe you the baddest motherfucker alive. You just gotta believe it. You know what I'm saying? So moving forward, it's like, what do you want to take? What you've been able to do as a player, as a coach, like what is your end game?
My end game is my kids. We continue to piggyback off this Longview validation. I no longer seek it. Does it piss me off? Fuck yeah. I still to this day when people are like, well, you didn't play, or well, you were this and that. I no longer seek the validation of the city of Longview or from peers or from younger guys that I knew that grew up behind me. I no longer seek that. It does still bother me, but as I continue to make strides, it's just my kids and my family. Do my kids know the man that I am now?
Yeah.
Do my kids know my journey? One of the things that I teach through my training regiments, or if I'm coaching a school at the moment, is your story is not my story. My book ain't your book.
Yeah.
You got to continue to write it. 5-star athlete, 1-star athlete. But guess what? 5-star athlete went to college, dropped out. 1-star athlete walked on, kept going. Look what he's doing.
Yeah.
5-star athlete works at the gas station. Now 1-star athlete is now leading a program to another state championship. So your story doesn't end. Matter of fact, honestly, now that I've grown up, your story begins when you graduate high school.
Yeah.
What will you do once you leave
the nest?
Right. What will you do when you become an adult? Because people who ride that wave, man, I was the man in these streets. I was the man at the high school level. I broke all the records in my high school. But now you work at the Shell station.
I'm like, bro, you 30.
Like,
why the fuck is you talking about high school?
What are you doing now for yourself?
It's like, is that the NFL and the NBA regardless? It's like, what have you done for me lately? Like, what are you doing right now?
Right. So I like we speak on daily on, I text him every Friday before the game. And it's a different message each time. But one of the messages I sent him is seize the moment. One thing that I failed to do in high school that probably would have got me validation, who knows, is I had an opportunity to probably be one of the better long snappers that ever came through. But I was so caught up of chasing the man in front of me, which was Tate Casey at the time. I was so caught up of wanting to get his shine that I stopped long snapping.
Yeah.
I didn't pursue being a long snapper, short snapper anymore. No, I want to be this tight end. I want to be this receiver. I want to catch passes. I want to score touchdowns. I want to get a scholarship. That I didn't realize long snappers in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's people drafted to long snap.
Yeah, one of my best homies I ever grew up with, Michael Berryman. Michael Berryman got a scholarship for long snapping. He got a football scholarship to long snap. Like, that was his scholarship for. And like, similar to you, I remember Coach Smith, which he wasn't there when you was there, but he was the offensive line coach with Coach King. He asked me did I want to play offensive line. And the way my mind worked at the time is like, I dedicated my life to being a defensive tackle. Give me my opportunity at defensive tackle.
Right.
Instead of me just taking any opportunity I could to help my team, I felt like I deserved defensive tackle, and like whatever happened. Like, so I totally understand where you come from. It's like, you never know. Just like we just got finished watching, well, we was attempting to watch Jermichael play. But you see Greg Ward from John Tyler. He is a quarterback, but he got his opportunity playing wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles.
In special teams.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of that, hey, shout out to my cousin Feet Hasty. We here with it. No matter what, man, we gonna always support fam. But Jermichael's out there special teams,
doing anything.
Kickoff return, punt. I'm like, that could have been me if I would have seized the moment. But I got caught up in validation. I got caught up that I knew if I'm gonna go down in Longview Lobo history books, I gotta catch passes.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't gonna go down as being top 100 Longview Lobos for long snapping.
I ain't gonna lie, you was in a fucked up situation though, to be honest, because you had one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever come through Longview, and then he got hurt, and then you got at the time I think Carlin probably was like 5'5", playing behind giants, expected to be elite, and Carlin is elite, but he was still short. He
wasn't given an opportunity to grow up. He had to grow up fast.
Yeah, he definitely had to grow up fast. And but know, anybody who knows me knows that Carlin is my quarterback. But I still understand that. Like, to me, I always say that his one knock is that he was just short. Like, he was a good passer. He was a good leader. He was definitely a great leader and everything. But like, it's just one of these situations to where you got to take advantage of your opportunity.
Seize the moment. He sees this moment. Yeah. But as a sophomore, leading one of the best teams in the state at the moment, you can't.
You gotta think about it, especially like with Fred Williams. I don't know. He's like 6'2" at the time.
He's taller than me.
Yeah,
so Fred
he
was
like
dead.
These giant of linemen, and you expect this short kid to excel behind all of that. And
Fred, DL, Shep, Gordon Freeman, and Caleb Womack.
Yeah.
Caleb and DL the shorter of linemen, and he's still taller than Carlin.
Exactly, way taller.
But I just spoke to you last week maybe, or maybe earlier in the weekend, that if we beat South Garland, Carlin grows up fast then. I think that next game, he's ready. Yeah, he's good to go.
Because the rest of the players who were sick at that time with the flu
will come back.
And
Malcolm maybe get his grade fixed. Who knows what happens? But we have Malcolm Kelly in that game. Who knows? I don't care if Carlin is a freshman. You throw the ball to Malcolm Kelly in his prime at that point in time, there's not a soul in the state of Texas that guards him.
Yeah, it's over. So yeah, but I want you to talk about some of the players you've been able to coach throughout your years. Like, I just want you to flex your impact a little bit.
Oh, shit.
Like, what have you done as a coach? Like, what are your accomplishments?
Let's start with here. I'm gonna start now and go backwards. Out here, my last year coaching, which was last year, I coached a guy we call a white moss. His name is Evan Ronaldo. His junior year, when I got my hands on him, dude couldn't catch cold in Alaska butt naked.
Damn.
But he worked hard. He would just get out there and go, no matter what. Get open, wouldn't catch it. Tough pass, wouldn't catch it. But we grind. I realized then, I said, well, you got a lot of upside. Don't give up, because you can be the number one guy. Evan Ronaldo came out his senior year. This is after a summer of me and him just going. First team all district, first team all Blue Valley, second team all state. He made the Kansas Shrine Bowl. The Kansas Shrine Bowl is equivalent to me, in my eyes, is my opinion. The Kansas Shrine Bowl is equivalent to like a baby Under Armour game. This is the top players in the state of Kansas that you get to go.
Yeah,
we were 2-7. That means you telling me my receiver, which was second team all state, first team all district, first team all Blue Valley, makes an all-star game. How do you do that on a 2-17? We grind. Dude, I want to say he had almost 30 catches, 850 yards, and 8 touchdowns, I believe, give or take a touchdown. It might have been 7, might have been 9, but he had over 800 yards receiving, about 9 touchdowns. You would not stop. They tried to triple and double coverage this guy. His vertical is out of this world. Don't get me to quote his stats on his vertical, but he went out there in his senior year, did what he had to do to get those accolades I just announced. He's at K-State. He's going to be a walk-on.
Yeah.
Prior to him, I got a guy, his name is J. Michael Sturtevant. He was one of my guys.
J. Mike.
His sophomore year. He made second team all state in 3 games. He broke his broke his collarbone first game of the season. He came back the last 2 games of the season, made second team all state, first team all district. As a sophomore with 3 games.
Yeah.
He then moves to Texas. He goes to Flower Mound Marcus now. All I gotta say, he's committed to Cal, going to Pac-12, 4-star receiver.
Awesome.
Now, don't get me to toot my own horn. A lot of his success came from here within him, but I got my hands on him early, and I gave him that confidence. He took off with it.
And I mean, at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's like you can't. It's like as a coach, you have to shape what's already there.
Yeah.
It's like you can't really put something there that's not there or anything. So.
But you wait. J. Michael Sturtevant, remember that, guys. He going to Cal next year. If he don't redshirt, he will be an impact player as a freshman. Hands down, promise you.
Yeah.
I gave enough in his ear for him to run with it. The rest is history. He's training and doing all his own things on in Texas, but that guy was one of my proteges. I knew he was going to be special. I just wish I could have been the one who continued to mold him.
Yeah.
I gave him a little bit. He took off running with it. We can drop down to now the guys from Longview. Talking about Jeff and Al List. Man, we just spoke on him when we coached for the Mustangs. All he needs is that somebody in his head. If he has a positive influence in his head, he would have went to the NFL.
Yeah.
You talking about hitting people?
Like Jeff Naya, it's like with him being as small as he is, he plays like he's 50 pounds bigger than what he is.
And much taller. He plays like he's a giant.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I always like I believe, matter of fact, I believe in all the players I've been able to get in contact with, regardless of what is going on in their life. Like I believe in them. I know they can turn their life around and become extraordinary. Mm-hmm. Like same thing with Jesse. Jesse is at what's it?
SIU, SAIU or something like that, I believe.
Yeah, Mule Riders. That's the same place that Coach Rick went to, and it's been several Longview players that went there, and TB went there. But like I believe in these players. I believe in all of them. Like Haynes is at A&M right now. Like
speaking of Haynes,
like anybody that I came in contact with, and I always tell them that football is not everything. Football is something. Football is an outlet, but football is not everything. Like the same intensity that we giving into this preparation right now, I want you to take it to every single thing in your life. Like me as a filmmaker, I put that same preparation that I put into football and the same mindset that me wanting to be the best. I put that into every single thing that I do. And I tell them that, like, regardless, like, you may be playing football right now, but you may be a dancer, bro. Put that same preparation into dancing.
Never
or you
know.
may be an artist. Put that same preparation into painting or drawing or whatever you're doing. It's like, this is just a tool. Football is a tool. Basketball is a tool. And that's the same thing. Like you are a AAU basketball coach, and y'all dominate the nation, right? Like you travel and you dominate. The same thing with football. Like anything that you do, that's one thing I've been proud of as a little brother, looking up to my big brother, is that when you lock in, bro, you that nigga. And
I wish I knew in high school, yeah. Life ain't gotta like you.